this is going to be a combo guide for Marisa. And in my opinion, a combo guide is probably one of the most important things for this character, unlike some other characters where it's really important that you have your set play and your neutral really important. For Marisa, she is a juggernaut character, and the ways that she plays neutral is pretty simple. Like, she just goes for ridiculous amounts of armor, plus frames and stuff. There's nothing too complex to kind of strategize about. But what you want to make sure you do correctly is get damage, and boy can she do that pretty easily. So let's get right into it. Off of little pokes, just like her crouching lights, she can easily confirm into down back light punch and get a nice simple knockdown, pretty decent damage and a good knockdown for just light punches. And of course, she's left super close to you, so she'll go for her ridiculous stuff like a light phalanx or something that hits pretty meaty. General strike throw with her like heavy normal through her command grab, classic stuff. So good knockdown from her lights. When you go into mediums, whether it's like your crouching medium punch or your standing medium punch attack string, now you can link into your medium down back punch. So it's just a bit more damage, slightly better knockdown, and it leaves you slightly out of throw range, so you don't need to wait for going for your armor moves or like do a little bit of a step back. You can just go right into them and the opponent won't be able to throw you, DP you, or drive impact you if you go for Gladius on their wake up. Now, after mediums, we can also start using our OD launcher, because it's the same speed as the medium one. And after these launchers, both the OD one and the heavy one, there are a bunch of ways she can extend it. And basically, it's a pretty linear way that she can keep extending the combos. She can kind of just keep making a slight decision to the ender to make it different to keep going. So let's just go through those layers now, because this is the main combo path she goes for. So she can either go launcher into Gladius, that's just the simple, most damaging ender. Or if you're a bit of a smarter player, you can go for your running kick, which gives you a bit better of a knockdown, so you're left closer to your opponent, but it just does a tiny bit less damage. Or we can now extend a bit more by spending a drive gauge and doing a back heavy punch into a heavy Superman punch, which is plus 42 and naturally leads to safe jumps. So one drive gauge automatically leading into safe jumps that you can loop over and over again. And if the opponent blocks your jump in, then you get to go for this. Like, that's pretty crazy. Proper safe jumps for one drive gauge. Now we can extend it even more. After we do the drive rush, we can do an OD Superman punch and then dash in and go, okay, we were a little bit too far, but you can go for a dash in and then actually get this grab as a really damaging combo ender to extend even more from the splat we got from the Superman punch. Or we can extend it a little bit more into something else to extend into a level 3. So we do the launcher, into the drive rush, into the OD. Whoops. And we just do a charged down heavy punch into another Gladius. And then that's an easy way we can combo into our level 3. Also, instead of that grab, we can also use the post OD Superman punch to go into our fully charged level 1, which is kind of cool and leads to a nice chunk of damage even after slightly longer combos. So those are the main ways she can extend after this launcher, and yeah, pretty awesome, and all of them are pretty damn damaging. Now, so back to where we were. For our mediums, we can either do this or go into the OD one. And the OD one, we can go for the exact same routes, it'll just be a little bit more expensive because we have to spend meter on the OD. We'll get to situations where off of our heavy buttons, we can now combo naturally into the heavy version, which is just naturally combos as a launcher. And the buttons that do that are your back heavy punch and your forwards heavy kick. So anytime we can get those, we'll be able to go into that. And to do that, you will generally need some extra frame advantage, or for example, a jump in. So if I just do a jump in, that's a good time that I get to go for my back heavy punch. And then I can go for these combos. Like, that's a lot of damage for a single drive bar, and it leads to a safe jump. That is so awesome, just from me landing a jump in. Another situation where we get extra frame data is obviously after a drive rush. So if I do a button and drive rush into my medium kick, that's a pretty good drive rush button that's very plus on hit and plus on block. So that's also something that'll lead into this launcher, and then we can go for whatever amount of extension we want after that. Also, drive impact. Oh, actually, before we do that, just talking about what the combo we're going to do here. From her charged buttons, she can get some extra extensions. So for example, if I charge my heavy punch, I can actually have enough plus frames to go for my crouching light punch, which is not something she can normally do because it's just +3, but she gets extra hit stun from holding it down, so we can get this extension. And for other buttons, like backwards heavy punch, she gets so much extra hit stun that she can actually combo it into itself. So you get 2 heavies into a row that goes into her launcher, which obviously is going to lead to a ridiculous amount of damage. And the same thing applies from her forwards heavy kick that naturally combos into back heavy punch and can lead to this ridiculousness. And that means that that is the combo we're going to do after drive impact. Even if I keep it super simple and just go for a Gladius, as you can see there, that was practically a free combo. Didn't cost me any drive meter because by the time I was done, it all regenerated back that I spent on the drive impact. And that was a pretty chunky, sizable combo, and we can extend it just as we were able to before. And the most common way is just spending 1 extra drive bar to get this back heavy punch into the Superman punch so that we get the safe jump, which is just ridiculous that she can get so much damage in such a great situation off of something as simple as a drive impact leads to like absolute death. It's amazing. I love it. Yeah, so those are the main ways she extends her combos. We talked about drive impact and drive rush combos and all the ways that she extends after she gets this. And yeah, to combo into supers, although you can like technically use them like as extra damage after here, I really don't think they add enough damage to be worth the super meter, and I think it's worth keeping the super meter for other situations. Like this attack string that is really good in neutral because she reaches really far forwards, it can actually be cancelled into supers, and going to a level 1 here actually does a pretty solid chunk of damage, especially considering it wouldn't be able to combo into anything else. So I think it's good saving your level 1 for that, or your meter for the level 1 for that, or just saving your meter completely until you get level 3s or CAs, because that's when your damage just comes off the charts. Just like something simple like this. You don't even need to do a full combo for this damage to be ridiculous. You can just do a button into a Gladius and they die. And of course, if I do a full combo, it will add a bit of damage, but mainly it's just for style points because the damage isn't going to be too much more extravagant because like 65, 75% is already ridiculous. So I think it's worthwhile just saving up for your level 3 to just absolutely be able to kill your opponent whenever you want. Or otherwise just use level 1s in situations like this that add actually a noticeable amount of damage. Whereas if I use it in combos after this, like I can add that much damage just by spending drive gauge. So I think the last ways that she extends combos is by general punish counters. After a heavy kick, she can kind of go for the combo ender that we were going for. So just drive rush into the Superman punch, leads to a safe jump, and in the corner, she can actually just go straight into her launcher. And by the way, combos in the corner, I forgot to mention, become slightly better, because after we use our launcher, we can just go for a charged heavy punch, drive rush into the back heavy punch, and then just do a light DP punch, and it still leads to a safe jump, and because we've got that whole extra heavy hit, it does a bunch more damage. So now, just simple combos like this are gonna do a lot more damage. And once again, this was just 1 drive gauge for practically half of the opponent's life, and I still get a safe jump afterwards to go for stuff like this. Pretty crazy. Now, back to punish counters. Other things that are really good as punish counters, like the heavy kick is something that you're probably going to land like in neutral, so that's what's kind of good about it hitting, because you can like swing back and forward. It's actually one of your good neutral pokes and it makes sense to hit as a punish counter. Off of anything else that's like a light poke or a crouching medium punch or a standing heavy kick, medium kick, sorry, these all lead into your medium punch attack string, which is pretty good because you can either just get some simple meterless damage like this, or of course you can make it non-meterless to add a bit more damage. Same applies for this. Just make sure you time it all correctly, or don't. And crouching medium punch. So those are things that like you might get like accidentally, like, you know, you use this, or the crouching light punch works as punishing things that are like just -5, and then you just get this really nice simple combo from something that's barely punishable. But where it gets really juicy is if the opponent like goes for a wake up DP and you get to go for full punish counter combos. So let's get him to wake up DP quickly. And we block it. One of the coolest things you can do is you can just charge your back heavy punch into a down forward medium punch, a single button into a single special move from the opponent doing a wake up. Took basically their entire drive gauge away. Took an entire third of their life away from a single button, single special move. So you don't have to worry about, oh, what if I accidentally drop the combo, whatever. You won't. It's a button to a special and you're doing ridiculous stuff. So I recommend going for that. But there is also obviously more cool stuff we can go for. Like we can use heavy punch here. And then from the heavy punch, when you charge it, it now can combo into stuff like this. Single drive gauge, nearly half of my opponent's life. Yes, please. I think you can also do a forwards heavy kick here for a bit more damage. It's just, oh, it's crazy everything this character does. And yeah, those are the main ways you're gonna get punish counters. And honestly, now that we've talked about all that, that's basically this character and all of her combos, I think. So yeah, I suppose that's that. Let's just show like one way that you can like super cash out on the opponent, and then we're all done. These are the ways you cash out on the opponent and do ridiculous stuff. This combo, by the way, for a cash out, isn't really worth it unless you're just styling and extending combos like just to kill. Otherwise, I definitely wouldn't recommend spending so much drive gauge. You really like don't really ever need to go for drive rush cancels with Marissa, but you can if you like. So that's a way you can spend all of your resources. I'm sure there are more optimal, more cool things you can go for, but that's just to show you can use these simple routes to very easily extend to the point of complete using everything. She's an awesome character, has awesome combos, and goddess-like damage. And I'm sure you Marissa players enjoy it. So if this helped you, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.